We are Pastor Kayla-less this morning,
Yep, she's not here.
but we are here on Friday, the Friday preceding Thanksgiving. Pastor Trent and whatever Alex is to us are here today, and we're thankful. Why don't you take a second and like and subscribe and follow us or share us or whatever it is that you do on whatever platform you're listening or watching us. And Thanksgiving is coming. And I bet you one of you two at this table is probably going through that days of thankfulness on social media. And you're on day 18 today.
I bet you I'm not.
I'm not either.
I'm thankful, but I'm not that thankful.
So I just, I'm doing it every day, but I'm doing it in everything, give thanks. So I'm just saying I'm thankful for everything. And I've done that 18 times this month already.
You're posting to your Facebook?
No. I'm posting it to the World
You're
Wide
thinking
Interwebs
it.
right now.
You're
To the
thinking it.
heavens.
Okay, I see. Say, I hadn't seen nothing. Let me go to your Facebook. A few minutes ago, we were checking out Dad's Instagram. He doesn't know how to operate Instagram, but yet he's got 61 posts going back to like 2011. So clearly he knows how to operate Instagram.
I don't understand it.
All right. Kent Smith on Facebook.
So we are looking at me now.
No, there's nothing. You're not thankful.
No, I'm not thankful. I mean, I am thankful, but I'm not thankful.
Somebody
Social media.
tags you in a cat video. That's so good. Why don't you have it to where, like, when people tag you, you have to approve
You
it?
have to review it.
Because your mother tags me 2 or 3 times a day, and I'd always be reviewing stuff.
Well, same, but you don't get cat videos on your feed.
Well, you tag me, and I get dog videos.
Well, and you would have to approve that if you don't want dog videos.
Do you ever tag me, Alex?
No, I'm not super active on Facebook. That's for my
That's for her work.
Or that's for your parents and grandparents?
yes. So the only reason
This
I've
is a
kept-
good subject right now. The generational aspects of social platforms.
The only reason I've kept Facebook is because the accounts I run are connected to my personal somehow. I don't know. Like I can link through it, and then also my grandparents are on Facebook. So me living thousands, so far away.
How old are your
that's-
grandparents?
That's a good
Are
question.
they 60, 70, 80?
I think 70s.
Oh, I'm not old enough to be a grandparent then.
Mm-mm.
And so what's the next generation of social media? Where does the millennial crowd hang out?
Okay, well, millennial is probably Instagram still.
Instagram,
Some
a little bit of
TikTok.
TikTok. Yeah.
The Gen Z, it's Be Real.
Yeah.
Is a new thing called Be Real?
Yeah, I don't know a lot about it, but I've heard it's pretty interesting. So, like, when you take a picture, right? Hang on, let's talk about this. When you take a picture on Be Real, it posts the picture, but it also posts you, correct?
Okay, so
How does that work?
So if it accesses both cameras on your phone. So
Okay.
I need to
I'll do
go
a
ahead and get a
demonstration.
handle over there
So let's
nobody
learn.
can take my name.
So
Hey,
I
stay
don't
with
have-
us, and you'll learn how to be a social media mogul. You and
A
Pastor
mogul?
Elon.
So say I'm taking a selfie with you, Pastor. Okay.
Okay.
For Be Real, when the alert goes off, I take a selfie with you. So it's
Okay.
gonna capture.
Are you going to do it
Us?
live in time
I
while
don't
we're
have
recording?
a Be Real.
You don't?
Because you know what? I'm trying to, be better with my time.
Trying to
So
be-
it takes a selfie of me and you, but also it's accessing the other camera, so it shows whatever's on the other side. So it would be taking a picture of that light. But it's the point. It's like trying to push being real.
Authentic. There you go. A couple
Authentic,
weeks ago.
yes.
So no more kissy lips. They want the real thing now. Am I right?
Sure.
I posted a kissy lip picture one time on the
Yeah,
Facebook.
come on now. This is getting weird. Did you really?
No.
Duck lips? Is that what you're talking about? Back in the day? Back when Instagram started, I think. That was what, like 2011?
All right. Why is it Be Real? People, this is the most uninteresting podcast episode we've ever had.
Okay, so Be Real is for the Gen Zers.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, and the millennial crowd, there's somebody else in between there, isn't there? Between the Zers and the millennials.
I don't think.
What about the Xers? Who are they?
Yeah.
Is that millennials? Where do they land at? Because we all have to have our place.
Listen, I'm about to have to pull out Google.
So
All right, she's helping you, Dad, and I'm getting this Be Real thing set up.
And
over
so and so just so if the grandparents that are people that are grandparents and the older folk now, they're all on the Facebook. I want to know
here. On
who's
the Facebook.
who is it on? What did we used to have? Everybody's. What did the thing used to be before we had like real social media? We had everybody's connected, or
Oh my goodness.
what was that?
Everyone's connected.
Everyone's connected.
But before that we all had these pages.
No, so I think
MySpace.
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 MySpace was the big one, and then Everyone's Connected was somehow like the subculture of the church.
is a knockoff of that.
It wasn't even the same. I mean, it was kind of more like how Facebook is now, but MySpace was more like for music and pictures and more lifestyle.
And somehow to like be brutal and like rank your friends.
Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, like on the homepage, right? You rank your
You
friends.
would rank your like top 5, top 10, whatever it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
I don't know why I had one because I feel like I was younger to have one,
Yeah.
but I wasn't.
And you can go to like leave so there was no feed or timeline. You can go leave a note on someone's, was it a profile, a page? What was it?
Yeah, I guess a page, a
Yeah.
profile.
I still have my MySpace. Is MySpace still up?
I have no idea.
I'm sure I still have it.
Wasn't there like Everybody's Apostolic? Wasn't there something like that?
There may have been, but I was never on that.
There was something like that, but
I
I thought that's what Everyone's Connected was. Am I wrong?
I think Everyone's Connected kind of, I don't know. Like,
Man, I don't
I only
remember. I
knew
don't have
like church people on there.
Yeah, so I just maybe thought it was for church people, but it wasn't.
All right. I'm
So-
trying to set up this Be Real. Y'all keep talking, and we're
In
gonna.
live.
So this is our pre-Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we should probably start this episode. Go ahead.
We probably this is going to air the Friday before Thanksgiving. Today is the Friday before Thanksgiving, and in theory we're supposed to be talking about being thankful, and we were talking about being thankful till y'all took us on this tangent that we're on, because I was making fun of people I was maybe not making fun. I don't want to be guilty of that. I was.
Oh, you are.
I was rejoicing and being thankful for people who are on their day 18 of their thankfulness on their Facebook. And so if I'm ministering to you right now, God bless you. But there's a lot of things we can be thankful for. And, we talked about just doing an episode of talking about being thankful. And we didn't really want it to be the cheesy, I'm thankful for this, I'm thankful for that. It's kind of turned into that. But we've got a lot to be grateful for. And I really wish that I wasn't doing this solo today. Pastor Trent would join us, and we could probably have a real live podcast.
Well,
here.
I'm very grateful that our Trent Smith was available on Be Real. So there you go. I have the same username on all platforms. But the problem is, I'm thankful. So I'll get back to that, Dad. But I'm deep in the weeds on social media. But on TikTok, our Trent Smith was not available.
Oh.
Yeah. So I don't know who has it. But if you have it, I'll buy it from you. That's why I'm not active on TikTok, because I would like to be. Because
Well,
like I see a
what is-
humongous, like, so from like the work perspective, or I say work, from like the ministry perspective, I see like a humongous opportunity there on TikTok.
Right.
But I want all my usernames the same. So I'm kind of, I feel like I may have missed that. And I think, so say what you want to about TikTok. I think the algorithm there is so much better than like the algorithm on Instagram. On Instagram, it's like, I don't know, they promote what they want to promote, but TikTok, you see what you want to see type of deal. It's a completely different algorithm.
Well, and on Reels, you're basically getting TikToks that were popular 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So you're getting, it's just like,
Reels is Facebook.
well, actually, yeah, Facebook does have Reels.
Yeah, but they're not as good.
Okay.
Yeah, Instagram has Reels as well.
Yeah, that's like if you really like, if you can catch the Reels algorithm on Instagram, you'll catch some traction. But didn't Instagram do Reels after TikTok kind of came out and started gaining a lot of traction? That was there.
Yeah, it's just like them trying to keep up.
Yeah. So, which is really cool, but yeah. So anyway, that was a long tangent to say that our Trent Smith is. I'm now R. Trent Smith on Be Real. So, hey, do you follow? I don't even know anything about it, so I'll dive in. But let's move on. Yeah, so I'm thankful, Dad.
No, I'm glad you're
that
thankful.
you started this conversation on Thanksgiving, and I'm still stuck on our intro.
Well, I'm trying to move you forward. I know you're stuck in the past a lot, and if you'll just stick with me, we'll get you up into
we'll
the
go
next.
places.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, we do have a lot to be thankful for. So, what were you saying? I wasn't even listening a few minutes ago. Just a cliff notes of what you said before you threw it to me.
What I was saying before I threw it to you was I wish that I wasn't doing this alone today.
Oh, but before that, before you fired shots.
Alex, help us, honey.
He was talking about being thankful, and without being cheesy, we have a lot to be thankful
Oh,
for.
yeah. Okay, so you want me to get serious now. Yeah, so we have a lot to be thankful for. Here's something cool. A few months ago, we had to give our doggy back. Max, we had for a year. It's very sad. He was very sick. And the breeder was super nice and said, look, we understand that this dog is sick, and we want to take this dog back from you, and we're going to give you a new dog. So last week, we got a new dog. And I know that sounds I'd never said that I'd be this guy, but I'm thankful for my new puppy.
I feel like I'm in first grade show and tell.
Yeah, so
and I'm thankful for my dog.
So yeah, like it sounds like that, but like I have a second grader and a third grader and a fourth grader, and so this has been a big week for us. And it sometimes in life, you know, we talked about ministry last week, like the heaviness and some of the things that you face that nobody knows. And it's been one of those times for us. Like the past month or so has been kind of rough behind the scenes, but this little doggy's been kind of a bright spot for us, and we've had a lot of fun. And a very cool thing is this dog is potty trained, like day one.
He was born potty trained?
I don't know if he was born potty trained, but the breeder really did a good job. Like day one when we got home, he went straight to the back door and sat down, and I just thought he was chilling. Well, then he started whining, so I let him out and he went to use the bathroom. And I was like, oh, cool coincidence. Now let's start having accidents in the house.
Maybe he can help your kids.
Maybe he can help. Maybe he can help the 3 kids. So like that's really cool. And so like it's been a fun week it's been a fun week for our family because of the new dog.
But you got a new dog, but he doesn't have a tail.
Yeah, our dog.
What is a dog without a tail?
So our previous dog Max was part Bernese Mountain Dog, part poodle. They call him a Bernedoodle. The new dog Louie is part sheepdog, English sheepdog. I don't know, sheep something, and poodle. And so they call it a sheepadoodle. Well, they dock their tails, so it's really cute because, like, I cannot believe I'm talking about this. But when he gets excited and would go to wag his tail that he doesn't have, his whole butt just shakes. It's awesome. So, yeah, but we do have a lot to be thankful for, and I'll try and get serious here. God's been super good to us, and it's just, I don't know. It's a really cool season. Here's something that I'm thankful for. Kayla's real busy decorating for Christmas and all that. So with that, we decorate our house for Christmas way before it's Christmas time. And, you know, some people get mad about that, like what happened to Thanksgiving. Well, nothing happened to Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving still happens, you know. But we also last week, we were able to get lights on our house. Really cool. Like that's always been a dream of mine, like to have like not just like the cheesy lights that I can put up and look terrible. Like we had lights installed on our house. It looks super cool. And I don't know. I guess that's just a dad moment for me that like it's really cool. We surprised the kids with it. They didn't know it was gonna. We don't tell our kids anything, so it's really awesome. Mom gets mad at us.
So getting professionally installed Christmas lights.
It's a highlight. Like it's a goal.
Equivalent to getting your very first weed eater in your very first yard.
Hey, that's pretty cool too. Yeah. So I know this might seem funny and trivial, but like whenever you set a goal and like you want to accomplish something and then you do it, like I think that's cool, you know. And I don't know. I don't want to sound trivial and dumb, but that's always been something that we wanted and we were able to do it this year. So I think if you set a goal, work hard and accomplish it, and then whenever you accomplish it, no matter if it's in your career or in your family, or if it's a dog or Christmas lights on your house, however, you know, however people may view that, like it still means a lot to us because we wanted to have this and now we have it. And so we're thankful for it. And then is obviously the family aspect. You know, we're so blessed with incredible family. Kayla's my rock. The kids are awesome. You know, doing good in school. Presley's overcome some incredibly big challenges with his speech and then his academics, and he's really moving in the right direction. And so we're very grateful about that. And marriage is strong, healthy. Home is good. Family, church. Alex is on staff with us, moving in the right direction. So I have a lot to be thankful for. Alex, I'm going to throw it to you.
Oh, okay.
Your turn.
To say what I'm thankful for?
You know, here you go. What you're thankful for, maybe a favorite Thanksgiving tradition, something, I don't know. Your mom, hang on, your mom, let's go back to social media.
Okay.
Your mom commented, and my mom said something about it a few minutes ago.
When mothers conspire.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Your mom said that we need to have you make something. What is that?
Apple crisp.
What is that? Come on, let's talk. I'm already
So-
thankful for it. It sounds good.
I don't know. I think it's good, but like a lot of people think it's good. I mean, I'm not gonna be like my world famous because I'm not gonna say that. But it's a apple crisp.
I know a guy that does.
I'm not gonna say that. But I make a good apple crisp. But it's like a shortbread topping instead of like the oatmeal like stuff.
What
like,
is shortbread? Is it like shortbread and tall bread? What's the difference there?
you know what? I'm not actually sure.
She said you're just gonna have to experience it.
It's like a lot of butter basically.
I'm there.
I mean, I think that's the best way to explain it. A lot of butter.
So you're
And
from
then
Ohio.
Yeah.
And we consider most anybody north of I-40 to be like extreme northerners or Yankees. But you say you're going to teach us something with these apple crisp.
Sure.
So for these apple crisp that it's someday in the undisclosed moment of the future we're going to partake of, we're truly thankful.
We're thankful for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's something. Anyway, I interrupted you, but
No,
I
it's okay.
just remembered that. So go ahead, Alex.
So something I'm thankful for. I had a lot of big moments this year. I mean, graduated college. I had 2 nieces come this year, so now I have 3 nieces. I still haven't met one of them, so I'll meet her in a few weeks. But I'm excited about that. Family's growing. There's a lot of development happening individually within my family that in leadership and spiritually that I'm just a lot of things that you pray for a long time that are coming to pass. So it's really cool to see that happening. Even though I'm not there to see it like face to face, you can still see those changes happening like on FaceTime and things like that and little conversations and you're like, whoa. I never expected my sister to be saying things like this or even my dad or whatever. So it's cool how God works on people even if you're not there. You can pray from a distance and see those changes happening. So I'm really thankful for those. Thankful to be here. Lots of changes moving to Conroe. So a lot of change this year, but it's been good. Thanksgiving tradition. Probably my favorite thing is on Thanksgiving evening, like after you've already eaten and like you're just kind of bored. With the family, my dad and I will sneak out and we'll go to like Target, Walmart and stuff, and we'll go and see like the calm before the storm. Before
It takes
Black
you till
Friday.
Thanksgiving night to get bored. Your family is so much better than mine.
Well, like it's like probably 5 p.m.,
Yeah,
6 p.m. And we're like, all right. Well, so we go over to like Walmart, Target to see like what kind of stuff they're putting out for sale and all the employees. It's like really calm in the store and like they're about to just like it's about to be crazy.
Mayhem, yeah.
But I haven't been home for Thanksgiving in like 4 years.
And you're not going home this year, right? You're with us.
Yeah. So I haven't gone home in like 4 years. So that's something that like post COVID, I wonder if that's different. So I don't know. Like, I don't know if Black Friday is different after COVID. I've never really done the shopping.
We've never really done the Black Friday.
Yeah,
like we
same.
did it like I think when Presley was a baby a couple times. But like you'd get a good deal, but it wasn't that good. Like
Yeah.
not good enough to stay up late and fight the crazy people. So
I think that Black Friday thing is apparently changing because a lot of these retailers now are advertising their Black Friday deals 2 or 3 weeks early.
And
So that may
Cyber
be-
Monday and
yeah,
all that
Cyber
stuff.
Monday.
that may be a little cultural shift where all the people used to go on, the women and the ladies would all go on Thanksgiving night and early the next morning.
Guys would leave town to go hunt, and the girls would
get in
go
line.
shop.
And, but what about the guy that there was something at Academy, and he'd get there, on Wednesday night before Thanksgiving, and he'd sit there.
He'd put his chair out,
He put his chair
and then he'd
out.
go home, but his chair signified his spot.
And what that guy? I mean, I need to meet that guy.
All for a Magellan fishing shirt that he could have got that Wednesday. Walked in the store and got for $29.99. But he's gonna put his chair out and wait 48 hours and get it for $19.99.
I guess this guy's living by principle.
That guy.
This guy's
That
living by
guy's
principle.
living by. He just wants to brag about the bargain, never mind the hours he spent in line. Yeah. So we never did the Black Friday deal, but that makes me think. I saw this week. I think it was yesterday morning on the news. The Amazon this week is cutting thousands of employees. Yeah. So I don't know if it's like, obviously there's some economic things that are happening that's not healthy and very concerning. So I'm sure some of it is that, but is it also just a natural, like the pendulum swinging back after the COVID rush and they blew up like they did? Like, so that makes me wonder about, like,
Normal places are normalizing.
yeah. So
More traditional shopping places
Yeah.
are normalizing
Yeah.
a bit.
it's like, I obviously it's sad that thousands of people are going to lose their job the week of Thanksgiving or the week before or the week after going into the holiday season. That's terrible. But from the economic standpoint, I wonder if, like, what the impact that's going to have on the economy and all that. And obviously it's their busy time. So if this is their busiest time when they make their most money, but they're having to make drastic cuts, that's not what this episode's about. But I saw that and figured out that.
Well, I know other retailers seem to have tried to. They realized they were losing part of their market to Amazon, so now they've expanded into more of an online platforms as well. So I think you're seeing market shifts. It's probably a bit natural.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't this, in a different season, it would have been something else. I mean, it can be as simple as years ago here in Conroe, we had a donut shop that had been here for forever. It was a family-owned donut shop, and there was an empty building directly in front. I'm telling you, the donut shop was like a half a block off the main drag here in town, and then a national chain of donut shops came in and opened up, not 100 feet from the front doors of the old traditional one. And eventually, of course, the old traditional donut shop didn't make it because this national chain was right in front of it. And those are natural market shifts. And I think that probably you're seeing a lot of that you're going to see that with the Amazons and other things. Yeah. And I think, too, this other thing happened on social media is so many people are being laid off now through the Twitter thing and all of that. I think that is a natural thing because of the ebb and flow of business and business models.
Yeah. Obviously,
Seasons.
there's a looming recession, or I guess not looming, it's here, but people and companies are starting to cut back because they don't know what's going to happen the next 2 years or the next really year. It's touch and go. Back to Thanksgiving. Some of my favorite traditions as a young kid, we would go every Thanksgiving night to the lighting of the Christmas tree in Uptown.
Oh, yeah.
Post Oak, Westheimer area in Houston. And that was really cool. That just the parade and all the lights coming on. Sunny 99.1 would have one of their announcers out, kind of emceeing the deal. Excuse me, I'm sorry. So that was always fun as a kid. And then as I got older, me and you started hunting. And so every Thanksgiving night we'd leave and go to the deer lease and hunt for a day or two. That was cool. And then a few of those hunts Popsy went on us with because we were on the same lease, and that was really fun. There was one day I remember freezing cold, man. And he liked to hunt down. Remember at Candelia where that hill would go down those two big fields?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want to hunt in a blind where it blocked the wind. He wanted to sit out like behind, I guess it was makeshift, like
There's some
a log
logs
pile. Yeah,
piled
oh,
up.
it's freezing. That was a fun morning. So that'll always stick out kind of as a Thanksgiving memory. And now, obviously, that I've got my own kids, we're creating our own traditions, and some of that's going out of town and being with my wife's family at their property and hanging out with them, and that's a lot of fun, just a whole lot of fun that we really enjoy that. So what about you, Dad? What's some of your traditions?
Oh, food.
Come on now.
Lots of food. It's been my job for a long time to, seems like, on Thanksgiving morning, I have to go from place to place and cut up meat and that kind of thing, hams, turkeys, or whatever. I grumble about it, but it's been part of my last 40 or so years doing that. And then trying to be with kids. Now, when you guys have grown up, so it used to be just whatever we chose to do on Thanksgiving, y'all were with us, but y'all traded us in for other humans. And now trying to facilitate you being with both sides of your new family and be with us, it becomes you have to learn how to find a rhythm. It's hard to be everywhere. And then in cases where that families have blended and there may be extra sets of grandparents and extra sets of parents all involved, it becomes quite taxing for young families to give the parents feel like they don't get adequate attention from their children because kids are trying to be 4 places for lunch on the same day, and that becomes a challenge. So finding those rhythms and then coming to terms and to be at peace when those days. And so I'm thankful now what we have is you and your sister have chosen to get in rhythm, and so y'all will be with us on Thanksgiving. Is that this year? Is this it?
It is, yeah.
And so y'all have chosen to be with us one Thanksgiving, and your other side the next Thanksgiving. This is that year, so we get y'all. That's exciting. And then of course we're in the same dilemma with my folks and your mother's folks where we try to be with one of them, and so I know that trying to be everywhere to please everybody can be quite stressful. And it's not just one family; it's every family. And so I'm thankful maybe that we have learned and our family has learned to be gracious and understand that some years you're just obligated to be elsewhere.
Yeah. There was a couple years early on in our marriage that like we came to not like holidays. Like we loved them, but like we felt that pressure, like we have to see everybody. Well, when you're in your mid-20s and you don't have kids, or maybe up until we had Presley, it's easy to jump and run. But just because it's easy to jump and run because you don't have to get a bunch of kids dressed and all that like we do now, it's still tiring. And running all over Houston or East Texas, or even at that point we'd go down to Kingsville. It was like a holiday wasn't a holiday; it was a work day, But you just weren't getting paid for it. You were having to go jump from house to house and spend half an hour with each family, and it wasn't enjoyable. And so we finally just made the decision that what you just described. In the first couple of years, it was probably rough on everyone but me and Kayla, as far as you and Mom and her family and all that. But we had to do it. It was right. It's what was right for us and what was fair for everyone else. And young families, the sooner you can do that, the better. Like I think that whenever a man and a woman marry, they marry not only each other, they marry their families. So it's important to spend time with your families on holidays. But before you spend time with your families on holidays, you and your spouse have to be on the same page. And if you don't do that, then holidays are going to be something that you dread and fuss and argue about. And there's a lot of other things that you're going to fuss and argue about when you're figuring out your marriage. Well, and don't make family one of them, because then that only compounds the issue, because you can fuss and argue and figure out how you're going to operate as a family when it comes to finances or, your time, your scheduling, your church, politics, however, all that stuff has to sort itself out. But that's easy because the only people involved in that are the husband and the wife. But whenever you fight and squabble over holidays, you and your wife are going to, or a wife and a husband are going to forgive each other and make up and say, I'm sorry, a whole lot faster. But it could be 3 or 4 years and the extended family are still ticked off at you and roll their eyes when you walk in the door or clap when you leave, And so that's very important to be on the same page and make the hard decision early on.
Well, having a good, clear understanding, and then realizing that these tensions are defeat the whole purpose of having a holiday. I mean, why are we going to be tension filled when the whole idea is to
Exactly
be family and to be together? I know I've probably never had a bad Thanksgiving. As long as there's food, I'm good. Just sit me in the corner and keep feeding me. But one Thanksgiving a few years ago, I was asked to come to South America and do a conference. And in their country, it wasn't Thanksgiving week. At home, it was Thanksgiving week. And I spent the Thanksgiving with two missionary families, and we had on what would be Thanksgiving Day at home, we had a little time together. And that year, it dawned on me that I really did miss my family on Thanksgiving, which gives me an appreciation for others that might live a long way away. Or the position you're in this year, Alex, that's a long way away, and so you choose which holiday you're going to be there. And so I determined in my heart that I would not ever do a missions trip again across the Thanksgiving weekend. And who knows, I might wind up doing it. But right now, I'm purposing in my heart that I wouldn't do that. Probably if I was to do it now, I'd probably make sure your mother went with us, and then you kids could just do whatever you kids wanted to do. And that's a great place in life to be when the nest gets empty and you just get up and go. That's great too.
Yeah, as much as you enjoyed not having me, I enjoy you not having me too.
I don't have to worry about feeding or bathing or putting to bed or getting up any other humans but myself.
There you go.
And that's pretty good. So I want to maybe turn this a little serious and to close, and maybe share 3 quick little things that can help us to develop an attitude of thankfulness. And so those 3 things are that we have to always acknowledge that everything we have comes from God.
That's good.
Everything comes from God. And when we can acknowledge that we are but stewards of the blessings that are in our lives, whether we're wealthy or poor, everything that we have comes from God. And when we settle that in our hearts and minds, we can. Our kids belong to God. Our home belongs to God. And so, when everything that we possess, it's not ours; it's His. Our name might be on the deed, but His name is across everything. And so, when we can recognize that, then it's much easier to be thankful for the things that we have. And a next thing that I want to suggest that can help us develop an attitude of being thankful all the time is to simply stop complaining. I mean, we've got a lot to be thankful for, but we grumble about what we don't have instead of being thankful for the thing that we do have. So I think that it's very important that I even challenged our church this week to maybe take 7 days and to not complain about a thing. Well, when I challenged the next morning, my wife told me that I couldn't say what I was saying because I asked everybody else to stop complaining, and here I was. So I was duly corrected, and I began to be thankful for the mean things she was doing to me. And so you just learn to not complain, learn to be thankful for what you have. And then third thing I thought I would mention was developing the discipline of thankfulness. And developing disciplines is not easy. Whatever that discipline is, whether it's prayer, fasting, being kind to others, whatever that discipline is, it's the whole concept of a discipline means it's work. It's not easy to develop a discipline. And so learning to develop the discipline of thankfulness, that every aspect of life gives us something to be thankful for. And even when things are not good, there's a lot of good things we can be thankful for. So those 3 things are what jumps into my heart on this podcast about learning to develop and learning to be thankful, because we are not by nature thankful. We are in a materialistic world, and we want more. and so we tend to be stretching for the next and for more, and we tend to fail.
But
to
we can
slow
change
down
that nature,
and be
though,
thankful. Absolutely.
and we should. I mean, I think probably where you're going is, Paul in First Thessalonians and everything give thanks.
In everything.
Yeah. I think we should be thankful no matter what. Anyway, go ahead. I was sneaking to preach with you, Pop.
And a lot of time it's our attitude and our perspective that the way we look at things, the way we receive some news, that how we respond, and it's just when your attitude, you got to set the attitude. It's got to be right. And I'm gonna read this little thing to you because I find it humorous. As a girl at college, she wrote to her mom and said, "Dear Mom, sorry I haven't written sooner. My arm has been broken, and I broke it, and also my left leg when I jumped out of the second floor window of my dormitory. That was the night that the dormitory caught on fire. But we were lucky. There was a young guy from the service station was coming by, and he saw the building was on fire, so he helped me. And since I've been in the hospital, Paul's come by to see me at the hospital every day. And because it was taking so long for the dormitory to get rebuilt, I've just moved in with Paul. And since I've been living here, he's been very nice to me. And but I need to tell you that I'm pregnant. I'm not married, but we're going to get married as soon as Paul gets divorced from his wife. And so I hope things are going good at home. I hope y'all have a good Thanksgiving." And it's signed her daughter. And then she puts a postscript on there and says this: "Mom, none of the above is true, but I did get a C in sociology and my flunked chemistry, but I just wanted to make sure that you receive this news with a good perspective."
Good perspective.
I think that our perspective ought to be adjusted when we look around the things we don't have versus the things that we do. And when you really realize that we live in America, we live in a culture that the poorest of us are wealthy on a world standard. And probably the reason that you might be broke is because of $1,000 cell phone and a $40,000 car and a lot of things like that you're making payments on. You're living and walking in the blessings that God's allowed. So we do have a lot to be thankful for.
Top 1% income earners in the world. So in America, it's like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Is it in the millions? The top 1%.
An annual wage of at least $823,000.
Okay.
But really, most people in the world, because you have to think there's billions of people that live in the poorest countries in the world, and they'll make $1 a month or $30 a month, versus what's probably the below the poverty line here in the U.S. is $50,000, $45,000, if for a household income, not an individual income. And so we're very blessed people. And a lot of times this is the time of the year where a lot of people start stressing over money and all that. But number one, this aside, excuse me, like there's no reason to stress over money at this time of the year because it's coming every year. Like Thanksgiving and Christmas, same time every year. Like it's coming, prepare for it. But the flip side is a lot of other, and this is what we're going to talk about in next week's episode. So this might be a good way to end and segue to that. Is that we get depressed and sidetracked on things that don't matter, and the materialistic things become elevated in our life. And we devalue the things like sitting around the table on Thanksgiving Day or Black Friday, talking with our family, playing dominoes. That's what we love to do. Watching kids run around a pasture, whatever it is. We devalue that, but that's really the most important thing. And so perspective is so very important. Like, you might have some stress and you might have some struggles, and I in no way belittling that, because it's your stress and your struggle, and that's great to you, just like my stress and my struggle is great to me. But if we can get the right perspective, Dad, like you were talking about, it really it really puts us at ease, and it should put us at ease because God has been so good to us. And we don't deserve half of what we have. We don't deserve the families. We don't deserve the mercy and grace of God. And I'm very grateful today, and I want to keep a right perspective.
We hope you have a great Thanksgiving next week. And thank you for joining us today, this Friday before Thanksgiving. We are so thankful for each of you. And just when we come back next week, and we'll talk about things on the Friday following Thanksgiving. But we pray that your family has a great few days off, a few days away. And maybe we pray that you don't gain any weight, but maybe by this time next Friday you can be on a complete carb overload, carb coma, or whatever you can call that. God bless you. Thank you for being with us today, and we'll